was the most unexpected threat to your child? My son got detention for something he didn't even do. But what really scared me was that he came home and thanked them for it. It started on a Tuesday. He came back late with dirt on his shirt and a scab on his elbow. And when I asked what happened, he calmly said he was paying for his mistake. When I asked what mistake, he just smiled and said, "It wasn't mine, but someone had to." I assumed it was some kind of group punishment situation, maybe a misunderstanding, but when I called the school, they told me he'd confessed to pushing a boy on the basketball court. The strange part was, the boy's mom is a friend of mine, and she told me point blank it wasn't my son. He had stepped forward even though he wasn't involved. The very next day, it happened again. This time, it was for graffiti inside a bathroom stall, written in permanent marker. He took the blame, signed the slip, and quietly walked to detention without flinching. When I pressed him on why he kept doing this, why he was taking the fall for things he clearly didn't do, he simply looked at me and said, "Because it's fair. The scale has to balance." I thought it was some bizarre inside joke or a game I didn't understand until I found the envelope hidden under his bed. Inside were index cards, each one labeled with a student's name. On the back of every card was a list. Lied about grandma's meds, cheated on spelling test, took candy from someone's bag. Dozens of notes like that, some innocent, some deeply concerning, and at the bottom of each card, my son had written the same thing, debt paid. I demanded to know what they were. He got quiet, then finally whispered, "I'm helping her keep track." When I asked, "Helping who?" he said, "Ms. Adair, the substitute. She says the world works in weight. If someone hurts others, someone else has to carry it." Ms. Adair had been filling in for their homeroom teacher. No one seemed to know much about her. She wore pale colors, carried tea in a glass jar, and never raised her voice, but students listened to her like she was untouchable. When I asked around, I found out this wasn't her first placement. She had taught at 2 other schools in the past year. Both ended with vague notes like "contract concluded" or "staffing change." Nothing specific, nothing documented, just quiet exits. I went to the principal with everything. The cards, the quotes, the stories. She waved it off and said some teachers use unconventional moral learning tactics, and that it was probably harmless character building. But it wasn't harmless. One student had stopped talking entirely, terrified of saying something that might tip the scale. Another was eating lunch alone in a locker room to avoid being assigned guilt. And my son, he wasn't just following her, he was enforcing it. He started volunteering to take punishments, missing recess, staying after school, accepting blame for things that got more serious with time, damaging school property, threatening notes, even a fight he never threw a punch in. Each time, another card vanished. Each time he said he felt lighter, but what finally broke me was the night I caught him writing a card with his own name on it. On the back, it read, "Yelled at mom, disobeyed order, questioned balance." That same night, I pulled him out of school without warning. I packed his backpack, walked him out before the bell, and never looked back. Ms. Adair didn't show up the next day. No explanation, no emails, no staff meeting, just gone, replaced like she'd never existed. We never heard from her again, but I kept those cards, every single one of them. And even now, I still check my son's backpack every evening, just in case. Because the most unexpected threat to your child isn't always loud or violent or obvious. Sometimes it's the one who convinces them that suffering is noble and that guilt is something they owe.